Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I want to talk about 5 tips for dealing with imposter syndrome. If you're watching this video, you probably already know what imposter syndrome is, but if you don't, it is something that people a lot of times experience when you finally reach that goal, that dream that you've been working so long towards, and it almost feels like, hey, do I really belong here? Like, did they accidentally let me into this room? Where it just feels like you're in the room, but you're not quite able to claim your belonging in that space, even though it is something that you've been working towards, something that you actually deserve. But sometimes that's kind of where many of us are. But before we get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say, if you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of our wonderful world. And if you are not yet subscribed, please click the subscribe button below so that you can become a part of this wonderful world of ours. And remember to tick the bell so that you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, there's also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you all your different options of places where you could get 1 or 3 of my books. Okay, let's get back to it. The first thing I always tell people to do is get yourself educated, but don't overdo it. And getting educated is not because you don't know enough or because you're not qualified. It's because knowledge empowers us. Knowledge is something that sometimes makes us feel like, hey, we know stuff. When we get educated on things, sometimes it can be very empowering. That's why sometimes I recommend that people take the time and get educated on certain things. And sometimes through your research, as you're learning about whatever it is, whatever that situation is that you have finally found yourself in, that you're not feeling quite like you belong, when you take the time and get educated and find resources, learn topics, sometimes you just find things that can help you become more comfortable, start learning to accept and claim your power and your right and your deservedness to be wherever it is that you are feeling like an imposter in. 2, look at the ways that you bring value, because by the mere fact that you are in that room means that you are probably most likely bringing some value into that space, into that situation. So find the ways, look at the ways that you are bringing value. That way, when you're looking at it, you're not so much feeling it can overshadow the thought or the feeling, or it could be a way to help you rebuttal that feeling, that negative feeling of, do I belong here? Or are they going to find out that they accidentally let me into this room that I don't belong? When you realize the value that you bring, when you start acknowledging and accepting and seeing the value that you bring into the room, into the community, into wherever that situation is, both for people inside as well as people on the outside. Once you start looking at focusing on the value that you bring, it can help you feel more like, yeah, there is a purpose. It shows you that it gives you more purpose. It gives your you start to understand that, hey, no, maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe I'm here for XYZ. Maybe I'm here because I bring this value, or maybe I'm here because, this is what I create. So look at the ways that you bring value. 3, surround yourself with a comprehensive network. When you are in that situation, there's a lot of emotion that goes into it. And it helps to have a support network that will help you manage and deal with and kind of filter all those things that you're experiencing. But a support network can also be helpful in helping you kind of learn new skills, learn new resources to help you manage the situation that you're in, to help you be more comfortable in that situation. More often than not, or support, the people around us have been there. The people around us know how to navigate some of these situations. So making sure that you have not just a support network that you can cry to, but the person in your support network who will help you learn, the support person who will introduce you, the person who will help you figure out how to feel more comfortable, as well as the person you get to whine to and tell them how bad this feels and how you really feel like you don't belong there. And the person who's going to encourage you and let you know, no, you belong there. You've been working on this for 20 years. Yeah, you belong there. It wasn't a mistake. Your card actually was intended to have your name on it. That kind. So have a comprehensive support network. Make sure that you have people around you who can meet all the needs that being in that stressful situation can cause. 4, work on your mindset. A lot of times that feeling that imposter syndrome, it's not necessarily so much as that it's a self-esteem issue. It's more of a mindset issue. And it's important to be able to work on that to understand that feeling of deserving, that feeling of that feeling of belonging, that feeling that that feeling of entitlement. Because when we finally make it into these rooms, it's not because someone felt some kind of way, someone felt generous and gave us an entry. It's because we earned it. It's because we deserve it. But sometimes when we are not in the right mindset, we don't see that. We don't see, having worked 20 years in a job, working your way up as being deserving of, being at this particular level of the company. We may not see all these years of education as being deserving. Or maybe you thought, okay, well, I did do all of that. However, others did more. So working on your mindset can help you become more accepting of, more accepting of who you are and more accepting of your accomplishment, and start seeing your accomplishments and your achievements as what they are. Because when you're in that right mindset, then it's easier to understand that, I belong here. I did this. I earned this. I'm entitled to be here because, you belong there. 5, stop comparing yourself to other people. One of the hardest things that happens that lead to that imposter syndrome is when you start comparing yourself to all these other people and you start thinking, well, this person had to climb Mount Everest backwards in order to get into this room, and I just walked in. Like, stop comparing yourself to other people. Other people's path don't necessarily have to be the same path that you took. Other people's journeys don't necessarily have to be the same as your journey. We all have our own way of doing things. We all have our own things that we do to get where we want to go. So don't compare yourself to others, because it's comparing. No two journey will ever be the same. No two journeys will ever be the same. And because of that, sometimes it may feel like one was lacking, or maybe one was not as, maybe one wasn't as difficult, because we know as a community, as a society, we love to compare and share pain because, did I suffer as much as you did in order to get there? Don't compare yourself to other people. Focus on the stuff that you did. Focus on how you got there. Focus on how you got into the room and what you did in order to get you into that room, in order to get you to that table, in order to get you in that position. When you can focus on, okay, yeah, I did work hard. Yes, I did have to go to school. Yeah, I did put in a lot of hours. Then you can start realizing, oh, okay, so this wasn't just given to me. I actually earned this. But if you're looking at, the person who had to walk 5 miles or 20 miles in the snow to get to school, then it may not feel as deserving as, hey, I just got in my car and I drove to school. So don't compare your journey to other people. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. First, get educated, but don't overdo it. And you're not getting educated because you don't know enough. You're getting educated because knowledge is power. So when the more information you gather, the more information you have, the more empowered, hopefully, you will feel. And it should help you with that feeling of belonging. 2, look at ways that you bring value. Value into the room, value outside of the room. What ways is your presence contributing? What ways is your presence elevating this position, this situation, wherever it is that you are, whether it's for the people in the room or the people outside of the room? 3, surround yourself with a comprehensive support system. You will need different types of people, lots of different types of support, whether it's the person to cry to or the person who will help build you up or the person who gets you resources. Have a comprehensive support network. 4, work on your mindset. A lot of that feeling, that imposter syndrome, that feeling of not deserving and not quite sure that you actually belong, a lot of that has to do with how you are looking at how you're looking at the situation. So work on your mindset so that hopefully that you can start getting that feeling of deservedness that you actually deserve. Yeah. And finally, stop comparing yourself to other people. Every journey is different, and your journey does not have to be the same as other people. Your journey was your journey, and it led you to this room, just like other people have taken their journey, and it has led them to the same room. So don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare your journey to other people, and focus on looking at what you did, the work you put in, the sweat equity that led you to be where you are instead of what other people have had to do. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please take a moment, reach out, and get the help that you need. All right? That is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have a great day.